Ballantyne. Welcome to Power to the People Pleasers. I'm so excited to have my guest Victory here. Welcome, Victory.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So, Victory, like always, I love to invite visitors to share. Have you ever been a people pleaser in your life, and how did that show up, if yes?
Yeah, so I think that growing up in a big family, I've just, kind of had that as part of my personality or, self, my story from a very young age. I think that, just being the oldest of six, it's just really interesting how that kind of caregiver, you know, peacemaker kind of personality comes out at a very young age and really affects you into your adulthood because then when that behavior quits serving you, it's so ingrained in you that you continue doing it. So I've
Yeah.
dealt with that quite a bit, throughout my life. So
And how did you know that it quit serving you?
that's a good question. So I
Mhm.
think that I realized that it quit serving me just when I realized that I was in cycles. Like I would see the same behavior in myself and then kind of end back up in a place that I wasn't comfortable in because of my own behavior or my own choices, over and over and over again. So that's when at least for me, I just stopped and started examining, well, why do I keep ending up here? And why do I always feel that? Why is it like this? Like, I don't think that the world has to be this way, and I don't think my experience has to be this way. So,
Very, very good insight there. And I'd love to know when you think about these cycles and the behavior or choices that you are making, what are some examples of that?
so I have a very wise friend in my life. She's a client and just a really good friend. And she calls it making everything okay.
Mm.
So, um, like, growing up, like I said, I'm the oldest of six. And so there was lots of chaos and strife and I would always just try to make everything okay. Like, um, you know, placate this person, um, make things calm over here. And growing, once you're out of childhood and into adulthood, and for me into entrepreneurship, making everything okay for other people isn't always a healthy behavior. Or
Mm.
even in my marriage, I was married, and of course I'm not married anymore, but in that situation, just trying to make everything okay even when it wasn't.
Mm.
And for me that really resulted in kind of losing my voice and my ability to even share my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've worked really, really, really hard to regain as an adult, to just, um, if somebody does something that makes me uncomfortable, being willing to share that and not making everything okay. Or um, if I make a mistake, taking accountability and owning that rather than glossing over things. So I think that um, as you regain your voice and as you lose that making everything okay mentality, life stops looking so glossy and perfect, but it also becomes so much richer
Mm.
because it's not just like this internal turmoil, but you start to be surrounded by a different quality of relationships.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I really like how you said that. And you know what? It's so interesting that so many people strive or wish for that perfect glossed over experience, but that's not really life. And even though we think other people have perfect things going on, we never really know what actually is happening, right?
Yeah, that kind
Oh.
of life just for, at least for me, when I was living that kind of life where from the outside everything looked perfect and
Mm,
um, everything was peaceful and everybody was happy, I wasn't happy.
mhm,
And so my life lacked a lot of depth, and my relationships lacked depth because no one really knew me. I didn't know me because I wasn't in touch with my own needs. I was just trying to make everybody around me happy. And, it's just, it's a tragedy to kind of trap your own self in your life and
yeah,
have this life of like make believe, and you're not actually expressing your own needs. You're not expressing what you want. That's really kind of the story of my early 20s, is
mm,
just creating this life that I thought looked great, and then I went through a divorce,
mm.
and I had to like learn how to be okay with that. And through that, my whole life changed, my relationship with myself changed, my relationship with my family, everything changed, but for the better.
Amazing.
So it's been a huge journey, but it's been very rewarding. So,
Sounds incredible. When I think about this topic, we're talking about trying to be everything to everyone. I know when you and I had met, you shared that in your work, let me share your bio here with all of the people who are listening because you're pretty incredible. A passionate marketing expert and entrepreneur known for her innovative strategies and relentless commitment to client success. I love that. Through nearly decades worth of experience, Victory has established herself as a trusted authority in digital marketing, specializing in social media management, content creation, and brand development. And on the outside, an avid traveler and dog lover. Inspiration through her a lovely little pup. So I'm really grateful for you to be here. And you shared with me in our initial chat there that you know you yourself were trying to be everything to everyone within your business. Let's hear about how that played out. What did that look like?
yeah. So when I first started my business, um, I started a marketing agency back in 2018, and the social brand was really like this new fun experience. And when you start a new business, you really just take anybody, right? Like,
Mhm.
oh, you need social media? I can do that for you. I can do that for
Mm.
you. You need this random thing that I've never heard of before? I can Google that and
Do
I will
that.
do it for you. Um, and I did that for years.
Mm.
And a lot of people, very wise people, talk to me about niching and focusing on what I was good at. And for years, I resisted it. And over the last 6 months, I've really gone through a very, again, transformative experience where
Mm.
I just kind of admitted to myself, these are the people I want to work with. For me, I really love working with women who have service based businesses. That's what I'm good at. I speak the language, I can help them see results. And and even after I admitted that to myself, I kept it a secret,
Mm.
right? I got my upset the balance with my clients. Of course, I have to scare anybody off, and I didn't want to say the wrong thing. And then a few months ago, I just decided I'm just going to put this out into the universe and see what happens. And so I made a post on Facebook. For me, that was
Mm.
enough accountability to get me going. It wasn't about what people would say or what they would think. It was about me just putting it out there.
Amazing.
And so I made this post and I kind of shared how this was a passion of mine and this was who I really wanted to work with. And since then, I've just had an influx of people who want to work with me, which is exactly the opposite of what I thought would happen. I thought everything's going to dry up. I'm going to starving artists. I'm going to have to lay off my staff. This is going to be terrible. And exactly the opposite thing happened. And, we attract what we put out into the universe, I believe. Um, and I have signed more clients in the last couple of months who are women who work with, provide services. They align with me from a values perspective.
Mm.
The relationships are healthier. We respect each other. It's just improved my experience as an entrepreneur so much. And it started out by just taking a risk that was so, so, so scary
Mm.
because I was trying to be all the things to all the
Yeah.
people, regardless of whether or not I aligned with them from a values perspective, regardless of, and so I remember having to fire clients who were outrageously rude to my staff or outrageously just disrespectful. We would spend all this time creating a strategy, building these assets, doing all these things for them. 2 weeks before launch, they go a completely different direction and want me to trash it all. And, it's just, I was undervalued because I wasn't asking for what I needed. And I think that's really easy to do as an entrepreneur. The customer's always right, da 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 da. But just taking that one risk and saying, these are the people that I truly can serve and
Mm.
truly bring a difference to, or I guess truly make an impact in their business through my skill set. Clients are happier, I'm happier. It's just changed the energy of my business.
Wow. Wow. I'm so happy for you. And I'm celebrating you so much for taking that leap, facing the fear and doing it anyways. I'd love to know, what was there a particular catalyst that lit the fire for you finally to say and admit, this is who I want to work with?
So it's really interesting because um, my father and I have a very complicated history. I think most kids and parents do, right? Um, so leading, over the last year, he was working for me in my business, and my dad has a ton of business experience. He's a very wise man, and he is very free with his advice. And he always has major opinions of what I should
Mm.
do. And we were having a conversation, And I am so tired of being mansplained. Like, I am just da 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 da. And I really feel this calling to work with these type of people. And I just never imagined that my dad would validate that. I just never imagined that he would agree with that mentality. And he totally was like, man, if that's, what you have in your heart, like, what's the point in doing all this if you're not following what's inside of
Mm.
you? And we had a really emotional conversation about it. And about 5 days later, he had a massive stroke. And
Oh,
it has just been like 6, 8 months of just all hands on deck, helping dad recuperate. And, today my dad is still with us, but he doesn't know my name. We can't have the kind of conversations we used to. And for me, just that I could have been given before I lost the ability to communicate with my dad, because that lesson applies to so much more than like who I choose to work with.
yeah.
And I just think it's like, I don't know. This is the first time I've told this story, and just listening to my own voice, I'm like, that's so powerful, because it really is like a precious gift that my dad and like the universe gave me,
Yeah.
you know? So, and it's really, really cool because the next day after we had that conversation, he helped me rewrite my vision statement. And that vision statement has just been something that has like really guided me to the point that when I was ready to take that step, it was like I have to do it. It was just such a grounding thing that just helped me always kind of stay focused on that. So,
Well, I so want to honor this share that you just did. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm excited to witness where your business grows and where you as a human grow into, with this clarity around following your heart and really listening to that. And that is a gift. And I'm really grateful that you shared that with me today and with the listeners that will hear this message as well. And I'd love to know, as you are working with different individuals, different clients, you've got this new power inside you, this or connection to the power, right? Of this clarity, no longer focused on trying to be everything to everyone. What are you coaching your own clients on who maybe are doing that same thing?
yeah, I have really, one of the reasons why I love working with women is because a lot of times it's not like the technicality of the Google
Mhm.
ad, or like, oh, your logo needs to be redone. A lot of times it's just your mindset. Like, women especially, I have seen just lean into this imposter syndrome and kind of sabotage their own marketing, whether it's through silence or procrastination or overthinking or whatever it is. They That's a huge problem that I see. And so, um, I always remind everybody that I work with, this is your business. I'm just here to help, right? Like, I might be good at marketing, I might be good at whatever, but that only goes so far. Like, my ability to help you market your business is just a thing, but we have to bring your dream to
Mhm.
life. And a lot of people don't even know what their dream is because you get into it and it started out as this thing, and then all the clutter and all the chaos and all the drama of being an entrepreneur, and then you wake up one day and you don't remember why you're
Mhm.
doing it. And so I think it's really exciting and rewarding to me to help women get back in touch with why they're
Mm.
doing it. When you're in touch with that, marketing is easy,
Yeah.
because now we have a message, we have a story, we have all the things that we need to connect with the people that you're serving. So I I find it amazing how many people are in business who A don't have a why that they can just say,
Mhm.
and they really don't have true goals. Because
Mhm.
like making more money is not a true goal.
Yeah.
There's no way to like achieve that. It's not,
What does more mean?
how do you know
Yeah.
you've got right. Yep. Yep. So yeah, it's I never in a million years thought that I would be like that. Um my dad used to call it fluffy, like, just like soft
Mhm.
skills. I'm a nerd and I like to get in there and like create a really awesome logo and tweak your Google ads but none of that's gonna work until like the owner is
Yeah.
aligned. So
I love that. I love that. And I feel very excited and grateful to have met such an incredible woman in you. And you're speaking the language that I speak all of the time. I don't have the digital marketing
good.
background, but I talk a lot about these similar things where we're holding ourselves back. So I'm
Mhm.
preach it, love it. So good. So, as we wrap up our time together today, trying to be everything to everyone, what would be a final closing message that you would leave the listeners with?
I'd say the first thing is if you're brand new, don't rush it because I I fought that for a long time. Like people were like, "Oh, you need to niche, you need to," and I wasn't ready. I didn't know who I was going to serve. I didn't know what I was good at
Mm.
yet. So at first, I would say don't rush it. But when like just trust
Yeah, just
fall
go.
because what's the point? Like what is the point in owning your own business, working harder than you would have to if you weren't taking that risk, and then working with people you don't like,
Mhm.
or putting up with behavior that you don't like, or doing jobs that you're not really good at.
Mhm.
Like, why?
Yeah,
You know? And the universe will tell you very quickly if it's meant to be or not. It will confirm or deny
yeah,
very quickly. So I think that for me, I started a business. That was like my one risk. And then I was like, okay, I'm done. So just remembering like that spirit that brought me
mm,
here. Yeah.
amazing, amazing. And so, where can people find you if they would like to be connected?
Well, I would say that my website, so the social brand tn.com, or just LinkedIn, Victory Harbin. So,
Amazing. And you have a link. I will post it in the show notes. A marketing plan mini course. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
yeah. So, the marketing plan mini course really kind of walks you through a lot of what we just talked about, where, you're getting back into touch with your why by creating a statement that really showcases your vision and then setting goals. There's also some like nerdy stuff in there about, some competitive analysis and, all the things that we have to do to create like true marketing strategy, but really the foundation of it is just those soft skills of trying to do and why you're trying to do it. So yeah, the marketing plan mini course is basically just a distilled version of what we do in our consultations with people. So if you want to do it on your own, you can do that, or you can actually talk to me and we'll do it together. So
Amazing. Amazing. Well, Victory, it was so awesome having you on the podcast today. I want to thank you so much for sharing your story.
yeah, thank you.
And to all of our listeners, thank you so much once again for tuning into Power to the People Pleasers. Please stay tuned for our next episode coming soon. Have a great day.